It's been a few short weeks since your announcement, Father Simon Peter, as our bishop-elect for the Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux. So we're sitting down with you today and just want to discuss a bit about you so we can learn more about you and how you're feeling. So tell us, now that you've had a few weeks, how are you feeling about this appointment?
Baby, in so many ways, I'm still in shock. Many a night I wake up and ask, is this true? It is overwhelming. It is humbling. At the same time, it is the confidence of the Holy Father through his team in choosing me gives me that comfort assurance. Also, the reaction of the people of the Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux, my friends who have reached out, has been affirming and reassuring that this is of God and that all will be well.
You've been inundated with multiple messages, emails, phone calls, texts, and I can even tell you on our social media, I have seen a plethora of comments. Everyone's so thrilled, praising you, praising Pope Leo for this appointment, and you can really feel the excitement of everyone and their confidence in you as well, that you are going to be the right leader for us. So I know that that must feel good.
Yeah, in fact, there are some people that I went to school with, I have not been in touch with for a long time, and they have reached out and they raise up things from the past that for them are indicators of this moment. So all those things have been a source of inspiration for me, and to surrender myself more to what God is calling me to.
And do you feel like God has you right where he wants you?
I think so. I think so. And this past weekend, we celebrated the solemnity of Saints Peter and Paul. And that gave me a chance again just to reflect on those two great men. Paul, who clearly said, I don't deserve this, but by the grace of God, that's what I am. And my namesake, Simon Peter, a man of many shortcomings, but also of a lot of faith, a lot of love. And I go back to that threefold question to him. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And his last answer, which was in distress, where he says, Lord, you know everything. You know that I love you. In other words, you know what's in my heart. You know my weaknesses, you know my strengths, you know what's inside me. You know that even when I denied you, it was out of fear, out of weakness. But deep inside me, I love you. So that reassures me, encourages me that he who calls also equips. So I'm sure that he will provide the graces necessary.
He will give you what you need.
Yeah.
If he's placed you here, right?
Yeah.
So, to get to know you a bit better, for those who may have not interacted with you, or we just want to learn a little more about who is Simon Peter. So, to do that, I feel we have to go back to the very beginning, right? Your childhood, your parents, your family. So, tell me as far back as you can remember, how was it for you growing up?
So I was born in Uganda. I was born in the eastern region of Uganda. I was born in 1971. For those who may or may not know, 1971 is a significant year for Uganda because that's the year that Idi Amin took over power in Uganda. And for those who may not know, Idi Amin is probably one of the worst dictators. Some have equated him to the Hitler of Africa.
Oh, wow.
So that's the year that he became president. And so by the time I became of age, the country was basically run down and there was terror in the country. So my childhood memories are clouded by that. But in the midst of all that, of course, as a child, you don't know a lot of that. I'm one of 14 children, so I'm number 7. So right in the middle. Reflecting on this has actually been very humbling for me and mind-blowing that at the age of about 33, 34, my father had 7 children. You know, when I look back at myself at 33 and imagine having 7 children,
You're thinking, how did he
manage? You know, and he went ahead to have another 7.
Oh, wow.
You know, but I think for me it speaks to the gift of life. The gift of life, the special gift of life that all of us received. When I look at each one of my siblings and just imagine who of them could be left out, you know? Anyway, so grew up very close, knit family.
How was it in the house? Was it very noisy, very
A lot of
chaotic?
very chaotic, running up and down, and of course dad was away most of the time, so we spent most of our time with mom, and he would come back in the evenings, and of course he was the the whole thing of bad cop, good cop.
Yes.
Dad was the bad cop.
Oh.
And so when he rode a motorcycle,
Oh.
so we could hear that motorcycle coming, and wherever you are, you would put your act together. And so everybody would be in their best. And
Would she let him know who misbehaved that day?
so
Yeah.
if you didn't repent of what you, then she would report you. And so she yeah, and she, to punish you, she would punish you, and she'd just say, I give you maybe 1 or 2 canes, and if she says, stop, don't run away. If you run away, I report you to your father, you just come back. And
Were you very mischievous, or
a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a
who
little
was
bit.
the most mischievous sibling?
Let me see. I think all of us had our own ways of being mischievous.
I love it. How about the food in the house? Like, what was your favorite meal as a child? Do you remember?
We have in the eastern part of Uganda, we eat a lot of millet. So millet is a grain It's a grain, and it's ground into a flour, and then that is made into like a stiff porridge,
Okay.
which you eat. You eat with your hands, and
Oh, with your hands.
with your hands.
Okay.
Yes. So had that, then cornmeal, which is like they call it posho, but again it's like stiff grits. And then you have potatoes, sweet potatoes especially. We also had what you call here, what we call in America, potatoes. We call them Irish potatoes. Yeah, and then rice. But rice was not very common. But we mostly ate the millet, the corn, the potatoes, also cassava, yuca, the yucca root, tapioca.
Yes.
Yeah, we eat a lot of that. And then on the flip side, that will be accompanied by different greens or chicken, on Sundays especially, special occasions, beef, goat, fish. Two of my uncles were in the fishing industry. So from time to time, they would drop off fish. So we are surrounded by a lot of water. So little rivers and small lakes. So we had fish as well. We cook with a lot of peanut butter.
Oh.
Yeah, because we have limited refrigeration. So most of our meats are preserved by smoking. So if you have beef that you cannot cook and eat that day, to preserve it, it is smoked. And then it is cooked with peanut butter. Very delicious. And also different greens are prepared with peanut butter. It's one of my favorite foods. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I forgot to mention bananas, green bananas. It's not plantain. It's not sweet banana. It's banana that is, in fact, I think it's unique to Uganda.
Oh, okay.
It's
Are they sweet or?
no, it's
Okay.
it almost has like a bland taste. And it's there are forests and forests of that banana. If you get on the road, highways in Uganda, you'll see truckloads of that. So that is especially in the southern and western parts of the country, it's their staple. So while for us we have the millet, in the southern and western parts of the country, they have the bananas. But of course, it spreads to all parts of the country.
Right.
So on special occasions, we would eat that as well. So
So your mom is a good cook.
yes, my mom is a good cook. Even now, when I go back home, I enjoy her cooking. Yeah.
Did she teach you any of those skills?
Yes, she didn't so much teach, but I just learned by observation.
Now, with that said, I'm sure you picked up and observed a lot of things in the house watching your parents growing up. Tell me maybe about the influences that they had on you, things about your mother that stick with you, and things about your father as well.
Yeah, good. I will begin with my father. In fact, for both of them, the work ethic. Work ethic. I can tell you that for all my life, we never woke up before dad. If you woke up and dad was not up, he was sick. And I don't remember dad being sick. So he was always up like at 4 a.m. And
Now, what did he do for work?
he was a teacher. And by the time I was born, he was a principal of a school for the deaf.
Wow.
Yeah. And he went to college in Ireland. He went to Belfast. And then he did specialized education for the deaf in the Netherlands. He went to Germany as well. And so he was a man of well-traveled, and because Uganda was colonized by Britain, one of my childhood memories is waking up in the morning and dad listening or blasting BBC World Service. So he's listening to world news. So that was always, yeah. So he woke up very early, and of course he would wake up everybody. He would wake you up, and
Time to get going.
time to get going. Everybody had chores to do in the house to prepare for the day and prepare for school and all that good stuff. So the work ethic was very. I mean, both my mother, of course, took care of, while dad was doing his thing, mom was preparing breakfasts, setting up the kids for school and all that stuff. And then also preparing for her, she had many gardens.
Oh.
Yeah. So once everybody went to school, she went to take care of her crops. Yeah. So the work ethic, I think, is very is very profound, and I can tell you that all my siblings, whatever they are, they have that diligence that has stuck with them. The second is again from both of them, faith. You could. It was very evident that God was number one. Prayer was number one. Yeah. So for both my parents, faith, prayer. Church was not an option. On Sunday, you don't even ask whether you're sick. You must be very sick that you cannot go to, and yeah, so that was non-negotiable. At home prayer, and the third thing is education. They stressed the importance of education. We, in the midst of the difficulties, the scarcities, all of us went to school. And of course, that meant a lot of sacrifice. So education was very important. You could lack many things, but not education. They would sacrifice to ensure that we had we went to school, and so school requirements. If you came back from school and they said you need this book, my dad would ensure that you have it. So that was very important.
So they really supported, education for all of you, which
yes, for
that
all of
had
us.
to have been hard in that time.
In fact, when I look back, it like I said before, it humbles me and it blows my mind how they were able to do it. And by the grace of God, all their children went to did well with the school. All of us went through college. Probably most of us, more than half of us, have graduate studies. So, yeah. So education was very important, and then care for others, especially those less fortunate. So we always had people in the house, others. So not only other relatives who were less fortunate than us, they would bring them in. So not only did we have their own
Oh,
children,
wow.
they also had many others. So just that care for others was, was very,
So they were very fortunate and they were providing for
yes,
your
yes,
other family and
yes,
friends and
yes,
taking them in to feed
yes,
them.
yes,
And
yes, yes. Probably the last thing is my dad was a big entertainer. Big entertainer. He always hosted parties. Always. And sometimes it was for us it was good, but as well as a challenge, because sometimes they would the company would stay in long into the night, and and he had a very special place for religious,
oh,
for priests and religious. So many of the parties always had a priest or two priests, and priests in our diocese knew when they were in the area to stop by our house, and they would be entertained. My dad would go out of his way to entertain. So, in fact, later in life, I went to graduate school in the Netherlands, in Holland, and many of the priests, the missionaries who brought the faith to our region, came from the Netherlands, and now they retired. So some of my weekends, I would go and visit them in their retirement facility, nursing home, and a lot of them remembered
your family.
my family and being entertained by my father. And one of them particularly said that God is blessing you because of the generosity of your father, of your
Oh,
parents.
beautiful.
Yeah. So
Wow. And that must have had such an impact on you, just watching how he was doing that and inviting people in and interacting with them and having these religious there. Did you ever feel when you were younger, oh, wow.
in fact, that is in a very real way how my vocation was born, because of just seeing priests and the special care, the special treatment that the priests received when they came. You knew that the priest was special.
He held them in high
High
regard,
regard.
you know.
So as a child, I want some of that.
Yes. What do they do that makes them so special?
Yeah, so exactly. And then, of course, the from our faith formation, we're taught that the most important activity of the week is Mass. And so celebrating the Eucharist is the most important activity ever.
Do you remember praying with your parents at home? I'm sure there was group prayer. Were there moments that your dad just prayed with you or your mom prayed with you and put you to bed? And what was that like?
Yeah, so especially when Dad was away, that's when Mom told a lot of stories, lives of saints and Bible stories. So she would sit us around, and one of the ones that sticks with me is she would always talk about heaven and hell. How beautiful heaven is, the glories of heaven, and how terrible hell is. She basically implanted the fear of
Some
hell.
fear, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like fire that burns forever. It's like, can you imagine putting like one finger? You burn that finger for a year. Then the following year, the next finger. Just
She needed to keep y'all in line, you see. That's what that was all about.
So yeah. I mean, with that, you You don't want to go to you don't want to go to you want to go to heaven. And of course, so should tell us about saints and of course, you know, the Uganda has the martyrs of Uganda. The martyrs of Uganda, their feast day is on the 3rd of June. On the 3rd of June. Those, they lay down their lives, they're killed in a very brutal way. And just a thought that they were ready to die to go to heaven. They were not going to allow themselves to go to hell. And so that's a big feast in Uganda that draws millions of people every year. So growing up, every single year, my dad and my mom would go for that pilgrimage every year. And as we progressed, as I became of age, and means of transportation became better, Dad was able to take all of us, the whole family. All of us went. By then it was smaller, not like today. Today it's there are just millions of people. So it was actually our like family picnic or pilgrimage, because we'd go a day before and stay there, celebrate the Mass, and after we'd cook food. Go and celebrate the Mass. After the Mass, would stay in the grounds of the shrine and just visit and.
It's the coolest family vacation.
Yes. So we did that every year, every single year.
And it's over the summer, so.
Yes.
So when would you say, in watching your parents and being in this environment, you know, you were following, and when would you say it kind of transformed and where your heart was converted and you had a true encounter with the Lord and you thought, I want a relationship with the Lord?
So that happened much later. So I would say that growing up, faith was just normative. You didn't even have a choice, you know, a personal choice.
Right,
You're just
right.
born into it. So that personal encounter actually happened when I was in the seminary already.
Oh,
Because
cool.
I was just flowing through. I mean, that is just as part of our faith practice. My oldest brother went to the seminary. My second brother, who is a priest now, went to the seminary. So it was just natural that.
So you were following.
Just
So the fact
following.
that you were there, you didn't have this grand personal encounter. I want to be a priest.
Of course. I mean, I had seeing and observing the way priests were regarded, and I was drawn to it, and
It felt like the right thing to do.
the right thing to do. Yeah.
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 I see.
So after elementary school, I went to high school seminary, junior high school. So the education system in Uganda is such that you have 7 grades for elementary school, 1 through 7. And then you have 4 years of what you'd call junior high school, and then 2 years of high school
Okay.
before you go to college. So I went to junior high school. In the British system, they call it O levels, ordinary level of secondary education. So I went to St. Peter's Minor Seminary. Again, just a very. That's when now you get you begin to get close to priests, going to Mass every day, structured prayer, regimented life.
And how did you enjoy that?
I enjoyed that a lot because it exposed me to other people. It was the first time I left our little community, you know. So I now went to a bigger place, seeing other kids who came from different backgrounds, and we spoke mostly the same language, but native language, but different accents, different, and you find different practices, and it was just a very
You were exposed to more of the world and more people.
We got to, it was in the bigger city in our region, so you got to see, different things. So, as my father used to say, traveling opens the mind, opens your horizons. So my horizons began to expand.
I'm sure you still have friends from that time.
Yes, in fact, they last weekend was the feast of St. Peter and Paul. So the seminary had the annual celebration of the feast, and they mentioned me in a very particular way. They celebrated that I am the second of the alumni from that seminary to become bishop.
How amazing.
The current bishop of the diocese, Bishop Joseph, is the first bishop to come from that seminary. Now I'm the second. So they had cause for celebration.
How incredible.
Yeah.
You should be proud, and I know that they're all so proud of you.
They are.
So how long were you there?
So I was there for 4 years. 4 years.
And then what was next for you?
So after that, they didn't have a high school. So I went to another city to do now high school. And by the grace of God, I went to St. Peter's College, Tororo, for high school. It again now even broadened my perspective more, because there I met students for the first time from all over the country, because it's a much bigger. Our seminary where I was, student population was like maybe 50 or 60. Here, 1,500. So I went from this little bitty school to a big.
Were you a bit nervous?
Oh yeah, it was a culture shock, yeah. But it was a Catholic founded school. So again, when I look back, that was mind blowing. Hearing people who speak different languages, because Uganda, we have multiple languages, and so that was transforming. Also, meeting people of other faiths. Oh. So remember, I grew up in this little community, interacted mostly with Catholics, and went to the seminary, and now I come here and I meet people of so many faiths. Probably the most profound was meeting evangelicals, meeting the Pentecostals. That was I'd never really
been exposed to that before.
Been exposed to that before, and their perspective to the faith, their knowledge of the Bible. It was a challenge for me initially. But the good thing was I was very active in the faith. We had a chaplaincy. We had so we're able to be able to go back and forth and say, what's the answer to this? And because they challenged faith. And
Well, and when we meet people who are different than us, it helps us to better understand what we do believe. Why do we
yeah,
believe this?
exactly,
And so
exactly,
then you started
exactly,
digging, maybe learning more.
exactly. And as part of our faith life at home, because my parents were involved in the Legion of Mary movement, I found the Legion of Mary movement in this school, and I got involved. And they engage in, they call it apostolate. That is like a ministry, outreaches that you do. And part of it is spreading the faith and devotion. So, yeah, that was a very important aspect of my life. So, at at the school, they had the chapel, which is actually the cathedral of the diocese, the Archdiocese of Tororo. We had daily mass, so I had an opportunity to go to daily mass. So it was, I almost continued to live like I was in the seminary. I would go to mass early in the morning and all that, and yeah. So came from a rural little area. I'd never met kids from wealthy families, and now you meet, yeah. So it was you saw everything.
It was good for you,
It was,
culturally, academically, spiritually, all of
yes,
the above. Beautiful.
yes.
I'm sure you have some teachers from that time that you remember.
Absolutely, many. Yeah,
And I know that they left an impact on you, I'm sure.
they did. They did.
It's an impactful time in your life,
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think that was very formative for me. It led me now to begin to crystallize my faith. You begin to make choices in life, because now you're forced to defend your faith, to know your faith more. Also, unlike the seminary, which was regimented, here you're free. You're more free. You do whatever you want. So it was an opportunity to grow up.
You had to learn how to schedule yourself.
Schedule yourself, and also the type of education. It's almost like semi-college, because in junior high school you did. They gave you notes. But now here you have to take your own notes. You have to know what to. Yeah. So it was. Yeah. So it for me it was really a moment of maturing, and also getting to know and learn about the broader country. We also then in that time began to study really in depth about the world. Studied European history, about America, about the world. So all that kind of yeah. So it was.
Did you know where Houma-Thibodaux was on the map? So, did you see it down there? Or
what I remember was we studied about the Tennessee Valley Authority, about the Mississippi River, about New York City, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And what you said about time makes me think about, how we spend our time and the importance of where we put our time. And if time is a treasure, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. So you had to sort of learn for yourself, my faith is important to me, the Mass is important to me, and give your time to that, because you could have used your time for other things as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I think that kind of then becomes a transition point, because high school, when you go to high school, you broadly take on either the arts or the sciences. So I went with the arts. So basically there, you know that your career path is being narrowed down. And way back then, we had only one university in the country, whole country, only one university. Yeah, it's a.
I mean,
Yeah. Today they have.
I'm shocked.
Today they have 50 universities, but back then there was only one university.
So you didn't have to pick which to go
You don't
to,
have to
like
pick.
our students today.
And to make matters worse, you only went to university on a government scholarship. So basically, what happened was everybody in high school took one exam. They still do the same today. And then they would pick the best, whatever they could take to, they could admit that year. So they would, you applied, you are given to choose, to make three choices: your first choice, your second choice, your third choice. So they would normally give you one of the three. But if for whatever reason you didn't, they could give you anything. They could give
And you would have had to study that.
yeah, so yeah, you have to study that, or you can go there and then you ask and say, can I change? And if you have if you have ground enough to shift, yeah.
So what was at the top? What was your list?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah, I put law, but I didn't get.
you didn't get into it?
I didn't get.
Okay, what was the next thing?
So they political science and public administration.
Public administration. Look at you now.
Yeah. No, but I didn't go. So the intake for the university came later. So, but the admissions to college seminary came first. So I chose to go to the seminary.
Now, what was your heart telling you at that time? What made you make that choice?
I wanted to be a priest.
Okay.
I wanted to be a priest. I wanted to be a priest. So yeah, I went to college seminary. So while I was at college seminary, they announced the intake to the university, and my name was there. I'd been accepted for political science and public administration. And back then, that was like a big thing. In the national papers, everybody wants to get a paper to see, is my child's name there?
So it was an honor just to have been accepted.
Just to be accepted to the university.
So was that enough for you? A feather in your cap? And
Yeah. So I was of course my family was very happy and for me, and so of course they said, "What are you going to do? Are you going to switch?" I said, "No, I'm going to stay here." And
what was that discernment like?
it was difficult. But at the same time, at college seminary, I enjoyed philosophical studies. So first of all, I moved from the eastern part of the country to almost the southwestern part of the country. So again, different environment altogether. Again, meeting seminarians from all over the country, and just the community life in the seminary was very captivating, very and learning philosophy. I was mesmerized by ancient philosophy, studying Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and all that. I mean, just that was, and we had some very holy priests. Probably one of my favorites was Father Norbert Dupre, who was from Belgium. He knew philosophy like when he spoke about Socrates, you'd think they grew up together. you know.
That he knew him personally.
Yes, yes. I mean, and then just the fellowship we had, and as seminarians, the bonds and the activities in the seminary were. Anyway, so I finished the first year, and then the second year. So what happened then was, once you got that admission to the university, they gave you 2 years.
Oh, so you had a chance
So yeah, so
to
you
go back that next year if you wanted.
if you wanted, and for various reasons, I ended up leaving the seminary, and
And chose to take that opportunity.
took that.
Something in your heart told you.
yes, and I can share that. I had a very profound encounter with the Lord through the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. That is, I found this movement in the seminary. I had heard about the Charismatic Renewal, and all I knew was these are people who are not Catholic. They are not. It's a new movement in the church. They pray like Pentecostals, and so I was surprised that how could they allow this kind of group to be in the seminary?
How was it Catholic? It just didn't feel Catholic to you in the way that they were
and
praising and
yeah, so I was surprised, but and what also surprised me was some of my favorite priests.
were a part of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Father Nobody Pray was the leader of that group. So so I was kind of and then he invited me. He said, "Come on, we have prayer meetings." They had prayer meetings very early in the morning. Before everybody else wakes up, they would gather, and it was beautiful. It was a different type of prayer experience. So I began going to that little by little. Then one day, there was an outreach by a school of evangelization ran by the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. They were coming to a parish to do like a renewal day, a day of prayer and evangelization. And so Father Norbert reached out to me and said, "Simon Peter, I'd like you to come." And so I went. Bevy, that day changed my life. These young people spoke about Jesus in a way I had never experienced. I'd never seen somebody speak with such conviction.
fire and passion.
Fire and passion. I mean, they spoke about Jesus like they grew up in the same neighborhood. The Lord told me this, the Lord, and the decisions that they had taken in their personal lives, it was very evident for me that there was something special there. The second thing is they spoke about the unconditional love of God. In fact, I was introduced to a God that I had not really encountered. Because up to then, my perspective of God was, the God who is tough, who is looking out for every mistake you're going to make, So you almost, up to that point, you could say my faith was driven more by fear of punishment,
Oh, wow.
not by the love of God.
Wow.
So just to experience that I am loved by God, because in some ways I was going into the seminary because I wanted to please God. But to say that I can please God even when I am not in the seminary, does that make sense?
Right. Yes, of course.
And also just a sense of holiness. To be honest, baby, I had never seen lay people that you could say they were holy. They were, you know, when you read the lives of saints, they are always priests, religious, and I'd never really delved into the lives of lay people who are. And now here I had young lay people living radical lives, very holy lives. I mean, so it was very clear to me that you can be holy as a priest or as a lay person. And of course there are other things. So I ended up leaving and going to the university. And and when I got to the university, boy, I found that this movement was like burning at the university. Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah.
So you found it there.
Oh my goodness, that is where then and the interesting thing was that this is a huge college campus, and the medical students were the ones who were leading it. Students were supposed to be busy, and
And those don't seem to go together, right? Science is against God.
Exactly, exactly. And so that was probably the time that my personal relationship with God, with Jesus, just exploded. So
So we're going to build up the charismatic renewal even stronger here in Houma-Thibodaux, right? That's coming up. We can get ready for that.
yeah.
I want to be a part of it.
So and today I'm glad that many of those have ended up continuing and living out their faith in very prominent leadership positions in our country and in our world today. Yeah, and a lot of them want to come to witness this event in my life.
They're beating down the door of the plane. Get ready.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll be able to get visas and come to witness this occasion.
Come and support you and your family and
Yeah.
friends to come support you. I know they're all planning to come and hoping to come. I'm excited to meet your mom.
Yeah.
And, I know that they're just so proud and just want to be a part of it. They're just dying even to talk to you and hear from you about how it's going here. And I'm thinking when you said, Houma-Thibodaux is my home. For them to get to come to see your new home, right? Instead of you just going back to Uganda, how might that feel different for you to have them come here?
I think especially like this is probably one of the difficult ones. With my mother, think about end of life and stuff like that. I have been juggling between so if I die, what happens? There's been a possibility that my body could be shipped back home back to Uganda to be buried.
Right.
But now that's
not happening.
I'll be buried here.
Right.
So so this is now home for me.
It's home.
It's home. So
You're stuck with us for good. And we couldn't be more than thrilled to have you as our leader. And I hope that, this is enlightening for those to get to know you better and see who you are. Kind of behind the curtain of the Mass.
Yeah. So I had a wonderful time at university. Again, very active. Uh, went to almost daily mass every. Was involved in the charismatic renewal and met many friends, again, from all over the country and of all disciplines, so one university for the whole country. So, and you interact with,
Every different type of
exactly. So,
degree.
degree. So, unlike today where now they have 50 plus universities across the country. Every city has its own universities, and yeah. Anyway, so it brought together. It was a melting pot for the country and for the what you'd call the cream of the because they would
Cream
take
of the crop.
they would take the best of the yeah. So afterwards, when I graduated, I was very blessed to get a job almost immediately after
After school.
after school. So I went to work for the so here in the United States, I think you call them secretariats, like a Secretary of Health,
Yes, Secretary
of
of State. We have Secretaries of State.
yeah, of health services, and so in Uganda they call them ministries.
Oh,
Yeah, so Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. So that is where I got a job. I think here it's equivalent to the Treasury Department.
okay.
Yeah, Secretary of Treasury and
Yes,
yeah,
Secretary of the Treasury.
yeah. So that is the department that where I got a job, and particularly a section responsible for the reform and divestiture of public enterprises, basically to attract private capital and private resources into making these enterprises more viable, more profitable, more yeah. So I worked there. I began in administration and went into procurement, and then I got a scholarship. They sent me abroad to do an MBA
Oh,
after I'd worked for two and a half, 3 years, and they sent me to the Netherlands to do an MBA, and so I did an MBA specializing in corporate strategy and economic policy. It was particularly designed for developing countries, students from developing countries. So we came from 54 different countries. Another mind-blowing experience. So again, I met students from countries I had never heard of. Costa Rica. I never heard about Kazakhstan,
oh wow.
So,
Yeah, you're really looking at a map. I would need a map for someone.
yeah. So, yeah, but it was again a wonderful, a wonderful experience. That it was my first time living in a developed world, living in Europe, and you know how Europe is very small. You jump in a train today, you are in an hour, 2 hours. You are in Paris. You are in Brussels. You are in yeah. So that was again just. But at the same time, it was also a graced moment for me because. If I had not had the grounding of faith that I had, you know, living in a secularized society.
Would have
And,
pulled you down.
and you know, the Netherlands is, you know, in terms of secularization, it's very sad, you know. And for me, a country that sent us missionaries abandoned the faith, you know. And I remember visiting those priests who had retired, and they were basically crying and saying, we came back to a country that we don't even recognize anymore. So I thank God for the gift of faith that 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 I had, that had been nurtured inside me, and because I had a very I remember, I think it was the end of my first week there, I had this meltdown moment, just realizing,
No, you.
just realizing that mama, daddy, my nearest relative is miles and miles away.
It's hard to be away from family that far.
If anything happens to me here, what would I do?
What's gonna happen?
What will happen? You know.
Who do I call?
Who do I call? And you know, yeah. So, but then again, turn to God, and
The Lord gave you the strength.
yes, yes, yes.
And I find when we're, you know, in those moments where we're struggling and we feel maybe a little unsettled, maybe a little ungrounded, it's then that we can kind of go back to what's inside and reach to that faith and reach to God, because we know He's been there with us already, and we know He is who He says He is. And so there have been many times in my life where I felt like I've gone back to things that I knew when I was younger to kind of reaffirm me going forward.
Yeah,
So you kind of reach to some of those roots
yeah, yeah.
to hold on to
Yeah.
guide you through that time.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So, but and then also, of course, just again, it broadens your perspective even more. I mean, now with more education, and you're now learning international business strategy. You're being taught by professors from all over the world, and that was just transformative. And they it also opened up opportunities for you know, go somewhere else, get you know, there were recruitment drives, you know. I remember particularly Coca-Cola was kind of attractive, but I ended up just saying, no, I think I need to go back home. Yeah, a lot of my colleagues didn't return to their home countries. They got jobs elsewhere, and anyway, so I went back home, and was taken back to the same department, to the same unit, and just every time, every other year, I was getting a promotion here and there, and reassignment, more responsibility, but there was something missing. There was something missing.
You were so successful.
I was so successful, and but there's just something missing. And I was involved in the charismatic renewal. I was part of leading a prayer group, and then I was also elected to serve as the leader of the charismatic renewal in the Archdiocese of Kampala.
Oh.
So coordinating all the prayer groups and ministries, and it was just
And even that didn't feel like you were doing enough.
yeah, it was not enough. It was not enough. And it was just there was just something missing, and then I was as I So the good thing was I had an active faith life. So I had a place to take my struggle,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because usually when we have those kind of struggles, it could be a reason for one, for example, to go and drink. But it led me more to prayer and seeking God. Lord, what do you want of me?
Right. You don't want to make the decision without him.
Yes.
You know, you have to bring him in.
Yes.
Lord, what does this
Yeah.
feeling mean?
What does it mean? And
What do you want me to do with it?
what do you want me to do with it? And so little by little, I began to be led back to my childhood dream
Oh,
of being a priest. But I would just brush it off and say, no, it's not, it's not, I'm too old for that. Yeah. Anyway, to then just cut a long story short, I was led to Ignatian spirituality and began process of discernment. And I quickly began to realize that at the end of the day, after a full busy day, I would be literally exhausted. And yet I had a charismatic renewal activity to go to, prayer meeting. I would come alive. All the fatigue would go, you know?
yes.
There was just something special, something energizing.
Giving you life.
Giving life giving, you know? And so, you know, and it stayed longer, you know? You know, Ignatius talks about, you know, a peace that stays longer, you know, but not fleeting, you know. And sometimes, so as part of my job, I traveled around the world, you know, you get to experience many wonderful things and very pleasant, you know, but that it gives you a joy that doesn't last long. But when I would be involved in these activities of the Lord, it gives you a deeper sense of. So anyway, it was then that, as part of my involvement in the charismatic renewal, because as the leader of the charismatic renewal in the diocese, all the diocesan leaders meet together to form the national service team of the charismatic renewal. So not only was I involved in the national service team, I was also involved in the executive of the national service team. So as part of that, we put together two major events for the country. A conference, public conference, like a rally, brings together about maybe 20,000 people. And then a retreat for priests. And one of the speakers invited was a bishop from the United States, Bishop Sam Jacobs, Bishop of Alexandria.
Rings the bell.
Yeah, so he came and I had the honor of driving him around. And so we got to meet and exchange contacts, and he asked about me, I asked about him, and so he said he was Bishop of Alexandria. So as part of my job, I used to come to Washington, D.C., to the World Bank. And I have friends who live in Fairfax, Virginia. And as you drive out of D.C. to go to Fairfax, you'll see Alexandria. So I thought he was.
It was that Alexandria.
I had no perspective of the United States. I didn't know that there are multiple Alexandrias. So So, and I told Bishop, I said, I think I know where your diocese is. Next time I come, I'll come and
Come visit. Oh,
you.
you
Yeah.
had no
I
idea
had
what
no
you were in
idea.
for
Yeah.
down in Louisiana.
Yeah. In fact, about 2 months after that encounter, I came to DC, and I decided to go and surprise him. So I went to Alexandria, Virginia, and began looking for Bishop Jacobs. And he was not there. So I called, and he said, "No, where are you?" I said, "I'm here in Alexandria." So he said, "What?" Anyway, he said, "No, I'm in Alexandria, Louisiana." So I said, "How far is that from here?" He said, "No, it's very far."
You weren't just gonna
Yeah.
drive there that day.
Yeah. So I said, "Well, next time." And that same year, he was named the Bishop of Houma-Thibodaux. So during my next trip, I came and visited him, and one thing led to another. And 3 years later, I think I visited him 3 times. So one thing led to another, and 3 years later, I was accepted in the seminary for Houma-Thibodaux.
So what was there one thing that he told you that really, made you want to go back to the seminary? Like how did his leadership, I guess, help to guide you in that direction?
A few things. Number one is, first of all, I had never seen a bishop preach like he did. The man was so on fire.
Yes.
And downtown Kampala is a parish Christ the King, and he at the end of Mass, he made an altar call. The gospel that Sunday was Peter, do you love me? And he preached about a personal relationship with Jesus. And then at the end of Mass, he made an altar call. Like the whole church came forward.
He could have just gone down to them.
Yes. So
wow.
his zeal for. But secondly, he invited me to trust God, because what I was grappling with was fear of trusting God. So what is God calling me to? What I was afraid of was letting go. And I remember vividly telling him that what if I make a mistake? What if it's my life would be messed up? And he turned to me and said, in that case, who would have messed up your life? God. You think God would mess up your life? If there's anybody to mess up your life, then it should be God. So so he really led me to surrender.
Yeah, we want to keep control, it's just we feel more comfortable that way.
Yeah.
And he could have been calling you and you said, "No, I don't know if that's the right way for me to go."
Yeah. Then he gave me a book by Father Michael Scanlon, who Father Michael is the one who made Steubenville University what it is today. He wrote a book what does God want? I highly recommend. I've given it to many people. What does God want? A practical guide to decision making.
I'm going to get it for sure.
Yeah, very good, very simple. It's both for life decisions like a vocation, as well as I have two jobs. Which one do I take? Both of them are good.
Big and small,
Big and
long
small.
term, short term,
Short-term,
daily
yeah.
life
Yes,
decisions.
very practical book. So, yeah. So one thing led to another, and I said yes to God, and I came to Notre Dame. I came to the diocese. I came in January of '07. I was assigned to St. Bernadette. That became my home parish. Father Pat O'Brien was there as a pastor, and Father PJ was the associate. And I spent 6 months. It was an opportunity for me I resigned my job and came for these 6 months, not knowing whether it would work out well or not.
No strings attached,
Not
no commitment.
No commitment.
Just to see how you would
Just to
feel.
see,
and that's a big part of discernment, right?
Yes.
You would put yourself into the situation
Yeah.
and see how you feel once you're in it as well, and pray through it.
Yeah. So I was, I think that was probably one of the most riskiest because now I left a very good job. If I went back after these 6 months, I had no guarantee of get back that job. Some people said couldn't believe that I was doing this. They said I was going through a midlife crisis, and
You were ruining your opportunity.
exactly,
And squandering it.
exactly
by doing
doing this. And others said no, he must have gotten a job in the U.S. and he just wants to get. So I came and spent 6 months. I was just at the parish. At that time, they had just done the census. Bishop Jacobs was new in the diocese, and they had done updating of the census register. So I spent most of my 6 months just visiting homes, going door to door.
Helping with the census.
Census, yeah. Visiting people who are inactive I got familiar with the diocese. I fell in love, and then in June, July, I went back to Uganda to visit and say, yeah, I'm done. And I came back, and in the fall, I entered the seminary. So I was in the seminary for 6 years, and then Bishop Jacobs ordained me, and he retired. Yeah, I was the last one he ordained. And then
He had to hold out for that. He knew.
yeah. So
That was a special one for him, no doubt.
Yeah. So then, he ordained me, and I was assigned to St. Francis. I spent there 2 years, and after 2 years, so first of all, Bishop Fab came in during that time, and he assigned me briefly to St. Hilary for about 2 months, then sent me to St. Genevieve. So I spent a year at St. Genevieve, and from St. Genevieve to Christ the Redeemer, and then from Christ the Redeemer to St. Bridget, where I've been for the last 8 years.
Wow. 8 years?
8
a long
years,
time.
a long time, yeah.
So you really had a little mini tour
Yes,
of our church
yes.
parishes in a
That's
way.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. I've only not had the privilege of serving down the bayou. Yeah, yeah.
But you really did get to have a full, experience. And then, of course, serving as our diocesan administrator for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? What did you learn? How has it maybe primed and prepped you for what's to come?
No, I think I go back first. So when I left when I resigned my job, I in my mind I said, I'm leaving a desk. I'm not going to be. I'm leaving a desk for a pulpit,
Yes, yes.
and and then one day I'm at St. Genevieve actually. Father Dean was my pastor. Father Dean comes to me and says, Father Simon Peter, the bishop wants to see you. Bishop,
That's always good, right?
no. you ask,
You're in trouble.
What have I done? And why does he want to see me? He said, I don't know. He just told me he wants to see you, and he's coming to see you here. I was quite nervous. I waited. So in the evening, his car pulls up, and so he comes in, and I said, Bishop, welcome. We can go to my office or to the living room, whatever you. Why don't we go to your office? So we walked into my office, and we sat. We had the usual pleasantries, and on my wall, I displayed my diplomas. So he said, "Well, Father Simon Peter, I'm here to make a request of you. I think it's time to use some of your gifts. I would like you to come to the chancery." I said, "What?"
You were shocked.
I was shocked. I said, "Bishop, I've only been ordained 2 years, going through 3 years." And he said, I know. And I said, "Is that full time?" Or he said, "Yes, I would love for you to come full time." And I said, "Bishop, I need to pray about that. But to be honest with you, I think that I need to be in a parochial ministry, and then during the day I can go to the chancery, to the pastoral center."
You wanted to be in the pulpit.
I
You
want
wanted
be
to
in
be with the
pulpit, yes. I
people,
want to be
not
with the
behind
people.
the desk.
Yeah. So he said, why don't you pray about it, and then give me an answer in maybe a week or two. I said, okay. So I prayed about it. I went to, I talked to my spiritual director, and it kind of felt that I would continue being in the parish and not go full time. And he appointed me here as a moderator of the Courier, and also coordinator of Christian formation. I continued to be the associate pastor at St. Genevieve, and then moved with that same role at when I was at Christ the Redeemer, and then at St. Bridget. And then it was while I was at St. Bridget that he also appointed me as a vicar general. along with Father Mark. Yeah. So that was, I think, the big learning from that is just that it's still the work of God.
Yes.
You know, it's still a work of God. It's whether it's behind a desk or on the pulpit, it is still serving God, and it's just a different context. So it's been a very unique and in perspective to be of service to the broader church. And I hope that we can continue to be a chancery, a pastoral center that serves the bigger church.
It's clear that Bishop Fobb, as well as Bishop Jacobs, saw the potential in you and saw that you were so well trained and talented, and you have a unique set of skills that is quite rare, like we talked about, for someone coming from Uganda and experiencing what you've experienced. And I think it feels like now's your moment. Like now's your time to be able to merge those worlds, the charismatic renewal and the political science information together, to really be able to, you have to have the spiritual side, but you also have to have the administrative side, and it can be very difficult, and sometimes those can struggle, like you're saying, but it's all the work of God.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So each day when you get up to do this work of God, how do you feel?
It's a new day. Every day is surrendering to Him and reminding yourself that it is not mine, it's yours. So help me. What do I need to do? So right now, I think what I'm grappling with is, in the seminary, you have 6 years preparing to be a priest. And I remember here as a seminarian, Bishop Jacobs would meet us one-on-one as seminarians and would always say, your vision for the priesthood, what kind of priest do you want to be? So script it, and every year tweak it, and refine it as you go along. But in this case, a phone call
changed everything. There was no time.
No change, no training, no. So now I am. My prayer has been, Lord, what kind of bishop do you want me to be? What kind of shepherd do you want me to be? And so, in these days, that's my my prayer, my cry. Lord, what do you want me to do? What do you?
And does it even really need to be more than that? When you really look at it in a simple way, isn't that what it is? I think, talking about your family, talking about your schooling, it really helps to see the type of person you are, both personally, professionally, spiritually, and we get more of an idea of who you are as our new shepherd. And is there anything you'd like to add?
No, not really. Really, just gratitude to God for the many ways that He leads us, guides us, and also to the many people in my life's journey who have guided me, who have helped me to harness the gifts that God has given to me. I remember, just been reflecting. So when I was in the junior seminary, So first of all, I am naturally introverted. In fact, before my encounter with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal, I think I was even more introverted. And I used to wonder, I really want to be a priest, but can I be able to preach?
Would you be able to speak in front of all those people?
Yeah. And anyway, so in the junior seminary, prefects, student leaders, are chosen by the faculty and staff. You don't. We didn't. I don't know what they do now. You didn't campaign. The students didn't vote.
Okay, right.
So one day the rector comes to me and says, Simon Peter, we met, and you're going to be the next head prefect. What? So probably that was my first big experience in leadership. And so just looking back, different people have just been instruments that God has used to form me, and I'm trusting that even now in this phase of my life, He's going to bring people who are going to be those instruments that are going to help me. 2 weeks ago, I was in San Diego with the bishops, and several bishops reached out to me and said, here to help and guide you, and so I hope that through that, again, God is going to help me, and
We're all in this together.
Exactly.
Really, right?
Exactly.
We want to help each other. I just met a lot of the communications directors last week at various dioceses, and that was great too. Like same vibe. Let us know how we can help you.
Yeah.
It's just great that everyone is very supportive.
That's correct.
Everyone in this space is very supportive, as they should be, right? But it's different from being, I had a corporate background, and you did as well, seeing the difference between more of a competitive corporate environment and this environment. It's very, very different.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, did you make the right choice? Was the discernment right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I think gratitude to God and all the instruments that He has used over the years in different phases of my life. There have been people that God has used. So I'm very grateful. And then secondly, just the people of Houma-Thibodaux. Yeah, so when I came, Monsignor Lejeune was a retired priest in residence at St. Bernadette. And he took me under his wings. He welcomed me and began to orient me to the Cajun culture, and drove me up and down the bayous, and told me about Houma-Thibodaux and all that stuff. Anyway, he had served at Sacred Heart in Karov. So in one of our trips, we stopped in Karov, and he introduced me to a men's group down there. And those men embraced me, and they began calling me T-Father.
They like to say T.
T-Father, T-Father, T-Father. Yeah, and I just felt really welcomed by the people over the years, and so I'm very grateful for that, because it's made this home for me. I tell people that when I go to Uganda, so when I'm here, I miss Uganda. When I go to Uganda, when I land, it's like, oh, I'm back home. Then I begin missing here. Okay?
Different worlds.
When I land, when I come back, when I fly back, when I land, I'm back home. So yes, I'm grateful to all the people that have helped me and made this home for me. And I look forward to this new phase in my life and this new role that I don't deserve, but by the grace of God, He has given it to me. I embrace it wholeheartedly with both hands, and I commit that I'll do my best with the help of God. With the help of God.
And with both hands means you can't hold on to anything else.
Yeah.
You're letting it go.
Yeah.
And they're open to receive
Yeah.
whatever God has to give you.
Yeah. 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 So, and of course, final thing is a reminder about a transforming experience I had. The love of God. God loves us so much that He wants to be with us. You know, the Bible says that God loved the world so much that He gave us Jesus. He sent Jesus. Jesus came not to condemn, but to save. You know, Jesus is not looking for, what have you done wrong? He's saying,
Mom.
how can I get you? How can I want you to come. Yeah, you might have issues. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. That's what
He wants us to choose Him.
to choose Him.
You know, to love Him freely.
Love Him freely, because He has our best interest in mind. He cares for us. So I hope that that message of love would be what rallies us all together, and that each one of us, like St. Paul said in the second reading this last weekend, that at the end of our earthly life, we can say, each one of us can say, I've done my best. Mm-hmm. I've fought the fight. I've kept the faith. I've run the race. And now the crown awaits me.
Amen.
And on the other hand, that we can long and wait for the words, well done, good and faithful servant. And that takes both of us. It takes me, it takes you, it takes all of us to embrace that path.
Thank you, Father Simon Peter, for joining me today and just being real with us, giving me that insight into who you are and why you are who you are. By God, thank you.
Thank you, baby.
Hey there, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe or click here to watch another one right now.